Live from Venture X Studios, it's JP, Kathy, and the crew.
Well, good morning. Happy Wednesday, and welcome to JP, Kathy, and the crew. Very excited. We've got a special edition show today. We normally have Dr. Rebecca Good on with us. She will be back on next Wednesday, and of course, you can catch her show every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. 8 to 8:30 now, because she's getting ready to do a health and wellness show. But we've got a couple of special ladies in studio, and we also have Bunni Pounds from Christians Engaged, who will be in the second half of the show talking about a Christians Engaged event that is coming up. She's mentioned it before, but she's got all kinds of amazing speakers, so we're real excited about that. We'll see her in a bit. But we're very excited to be joined with two lovely ladies this morning. Of course, those of you who are regulars to the show will recognize, if you're a member of the crew, you'll recognize a fellow member of the crew, and that is Faye. And we just love Faye Curtis. She's, oh my goodness, you've been friends with JP for
Many
almost
months.
Since she was in junior high.
Wow.
Okay, we're going with that.
Yeah.
But you've helped him out on Students on Service, and just been a big part of working with him for years. And then of course I got to know you through doing stuff with JP, and just think the world of you. And then she's got Stacy, and Stacy, your last name again?
It's Scott.
Scott, that's right, Stacy Scott, which just popped up on the screen. Magic. Okay,
Magical.
there we go.
Brett is magical every day.
It's fancy, yeah.
Behind the scenes, Brett is magical.
Yeah, we're like, hey, man, Mr. IT there, because I am not. So it's always good. I'm like, can you do? And he's like, oh, yeah, already done. Oh, okay, well,
Yeah,
great.
already
Thanks.
done.
So good
That's all right,
times.
already done.
Well, I'm very excited to talk to y'all about this. So social media, you got to love it. I'm flipping through, and of course, Faye and I have been friends on social media for a while, and so a lot of her stuff pops up on my news feed. And I see this thing, and it's and basically it's a Shoebox project, but it's helping to spread the word of Jesus. And I'm like, now what is Faye up to now?
I'm always up to something, Kathy. If you know me, I'm always up to something.
And of course, Stacy's just cracking up because she's like, oh, you know Faye too. Okay, yes, we do. Well, because, and we'll talk a little bit about this at the end, because of course you're wearing a beautiful pink pin, and that's because of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we've been talking about that all month, and the importance of just taking care of yourself, taking care of your loved ones, and then raising money so we can have a cure, so we don't lose any other loved ones to that. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I'm like, okay, so as if Faye doesn't have enough stuff to do. Oh, and she has a real paying job. She is working on this project, and she's brought Stacy Scott in to talk about it as well. So how are we combining Christmas? Well, I know how we combine Christmas and Jesus. No duh, obviously. But yeah, Stacy's like, wow, she's got fancy. No duh.
Right,
She's
right.
rich. She's a very fancy
red and green shoebox.
Yes. So
Yes.
red and green shoebox. So how does all of this tie in? And let's talk about what Operation Christmas Child is. So, ladies, take it
let
away.
Stacy do that.
Yeah,
All right.
Stacy.
Well,
and by the way, I love your frames.
Thank
I didn't get a chance
you.
to say, as I'm putting mine on, I was like, oh, I like her frames.
Look, it's time to update these, but thank you.
Oh, I'm getting ready to update mine, but I'm thinking yours look hip.
Okay.
You're younger than me, so of course she's probably like,
No, really, I'm not.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Wow. Yeah, so can we do a
We're
special
not telling
edition?
age today.
Can we do a special edition on how great y'all look? So there you go.
Thank you.
So
Well-
let's talk about this, Stacy.
Well, let me tell you what Operation Christmas Child
Okay.
is. It is a project of Samaritan's Purse, an international relief organization. The mission is to provide local partners around the world with shoe boxes filled with toys, hygiene items, school supplies, as a means of reaching out to children in their own communities. Operation Christmas Child shares God's love in a tangible way with children in need around the world to let them know that they are loved and not forgotten.
I see, and I love
And
that.
speaking of love, Brett, can you put that
Love
on
that.
on the screen so people can see it? So when you see that, what Stacy was talking about, look at that smile on her face.
Yeah, let's keep this image up for a little while
Yeah.
because I saw this and it really spoke to me. It melted my heart. You know, you've got and we're so blessed. We're so very blessed. I mean, even when you've got months that money's tight. I understand with the pandemic. I just I was listening to a show earlier this morning talking about just job numbers, and it's tough out there. A lot of healthcare workers, educators, people in the food service industry have quit, and so these are people who are having to do without an income they're used to. So times are tough out there.
Very.
And unfortunately, you've got people who, and when they have young kids, that's what makes it so tough. Just don't have an opportunity. They're looking to organizations who can help them out. But then you got to think about it. What's the real reason for Christmas? Jesus.
Right.
Jesus.
Right.
So I love that. So what are these shoe boxes for? And thank you so much, Brett. We can put that image back up a little bit later. Let's put it back on the beautiful Faye and Stacy right now. So let's talk about what the shoebox gifts are for and how does that work?
Okay, so every shoebox gifts provides an opportunity for evangelism and discipleship, which leads to multiplication of new believers in churches around the world. So local Christians share the good news of Jesus Christ.
Love it. Love it.
Inviting children to trust in Jesus, and then boys and girls receive a surprise. Some of those children, these may be their first gifts that they ever get.
And Stacy, real quick, let's talk about that. Okay, so you might have a kid who's 7, 8, 9 years old, and they've never received any kind of Christmas gift before. And I know most of us can't fathom that because we're fortunate that, whatever the financial situation, somebody somewhere makes sure these kids have gifts. Can you imagine just...
And when you look at that, that's a good point, Kathy. When you look at that picture, that actually was her first teddy bear, her first
God
bear
bless her.
that she
Oh, my
ever
goodness.
received, and her first gift. So
So that's not a staged picture. That
It
is
is
an
not.
actual legitimate true picture.
yes,
Yes, ma'am.
and
I
it's
think that's worth saying. You're
Yes.
like, oh, are these child models?
Oh,
no.
no.
These are
no,
babies who are
no.
getting to experience a gift and Jesus
Absolutely.
right.
for the
Absolutely.
first time.
Yes.
Yeah, and
yes.
actually, if you look over to the right, which Stacey's going to talk about in a minute,
Yeah.
but inside of the box, it's not just what she said. It's not just toys. It's they have a little script to talk about Jesus and accept Jesus into their life, and they walk away with hope because some of them don't have hope, and some of them don't have socks.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
the little things.
again,
Bare necessities.
Toothbrushes.
and I
combs.
noticed the toothbrush, and that was another thing that really stuck out to me. I thought, oh my goodness, these are kids who are in places where, again, we're like, okay, use which color toothbrush are you going to use? Which
Right.
cartoon character toothbrush are you buying at the grocery store for your kid?
Right.
These are kids who might not have seen that.
Things
Right.
that we take for granted
Yes.
on a daily basis, these children do not have. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we can go in there and decide what color toothbrush I'm using today or what cartoon character. Again, a hair comb, a washcloth. Can you imagine
No.
not having a washcloth?
No.
So those things, again, it lets the children know that there's somebody out in this big old world that loves me, that thinks enough of me to, gift me with these things and just to show that God loves me.
And I think that's what it kind of brings it back to. So a stranger has given them this gift.
Yes.
And it's not only a gift of, something wonderful and lovely like a teddy bear. I'm obviously, y'all know I'm still at age almost 55. I'm still, I'm still,
See,
I'm
it
still.
stays with you, obviously.
It does.
Yes.
It does.
When
because-
did you get that unicorn?
It's been a while.
See?
It's been
See,
a while.
so it stays
And
with
I've
you.
got like a unicorn that I had, oh my gosh, that's it's probably close to 40 years old at
Wow.
home, I
Right.
mean, so,
Right.
it's one of those things that those are tangible items that are like a warm, fuzzy feeling. But the greatest gift, and obviously then things that people need, which again, I think it's so hard for us, around here to wrap our heads around the fact that, well, what do you mean a toothbrush is not something you buy a new one every month at the store and it's
Right.
whatever your kid's favorite, cartoon character is for that month.
Right.
But it's that gift of hope. It's the fact that somebody I don't know did something for me. And I think as they get older if we have kids on the feed, I'm going to be very strategic in what I say right now. So as you get, if you were I can imagine these little girls at the age they're at, which I'm assuming probably 6 and 8 or 5 and 7 or something like that.
Yeah.
So then fast forward to when they're older and they understand that it wasn't just magically dropped, that was actually a church somewhere who made this happen, who gave them that toothbrush, who gave them that washcloth, who gave them that first teddy bear. And I just can't even imagine how powerful the word of God can be to them at that point in time. Once you get a little bit older and you realize,
because
chimney and all and the sleigh and everything are
Right.
So I have a question for the
like
crew.
I said, I'm being careful.
I have a question for the crew that's out there listening.
Yes.
What was that memorable thing when you were younger that you remember? What was it?
That's a great question. I'm going to see what.
I need a lot of people to chime in.
I love
Do you remember what that one memorable thing was that you got when you were little? Stacy, do you? Was it a bear? Was it what was it?
Oh, gosh. I would have to say, it was a bear. It was a Snoopy. And
okay.
Snoopy.
Love Snoopy.
And, oh my God, he was about this tall. He was white, and he had some shades on, and Woodstock. Those
I love it.
I love those. Those
love
were my
it.
favorite things. Those,
Mine was Hello Kitty.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
And a
goodness.
Slinky.
Okay.
Oh.
I forgot about.
I'm selling my age.
I was-
It was a Slinky.
Oh, I'm going to tell you, Slinky was probably one of my favorite gifts as well. We, oh my goodness, my brother and I've tried to. My kids don't understand how when I can still sing all the words to the Slinky commercial. By the way, they walk downstairs alone or in pairs and make a slinkity sound. Oh gosh, that everybody's like, okay, now everybody just tuned out.
Right.
But I remember those, and you remember stuff
Yeah.
like that. I remember getting
Absolutely.
the Holly Hobby doll, kind
Or
of
the
a
Easy
thing.
Bake Ovens.
Right.
The Easy Bake
Oh,
Ovens.
Easy bake
Yeah.
ovens.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yes, except do you remember those were metal at first back in the day, and the edges. I'm just sitting there thinking that would not have been child friendly, but somehow we survived without
Yeah,
seatbelts and drinking out of water
or
hoses.
the doll that you pulled her hair and it grew longer.
Yes, I loved her.
Yes.
And then I cut the hair because I thought,
And then you got in
it's going to
trouble.
grow some more. And my mom's like, all of a sudden there's a chunk of this hair. She's like, what did you do? And I said, well, it just keeps growing. That didn't go well.
So I said that and I asked that question so people could understand. You, as an individual, remember something
Such a
about
good
your
point.
youth.
Yeah.
So imagine if you look at this little girl on the screen, how growing up, she's going to remember that one teddy bear that she got from a Shoebox.
Yes.
From
Yes.
a Shoebox. And actually, the next question for Stacy is, what are you packing a Shoebox? And she actually brought one so we can open it up.
I love that.
Yes.
So you can see it.
And I love these boxes. So do we have a good view of that box? Because that is just so fantastic. Are we good? I think everybody can see it. Yeah, I just
that
love
good?
it. I just love it. I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so this shoebox that I packed is for a 10 to 14-year-old boy. So we have a few. Can you see everything okay?
Yes, I think so. Break.
Yes.
Do we have a
Are we
good
good?
view?
Okay.
Perfect.
So we have a few crayons, some pencils, erasers,
And
a
let's think,
pencil
a
sharpener.
pencil bag. Okay, again, all of us growing up, moms, dads, whoever took us to grandma, whoever took us to the store.
Uh-huh.
We got to pick out a cool pencil bag, the
Yes.
color we wanted,
Yes.
a character, again,
Right.
cartoon character or whatever, some kind of thing.
And this one is just
This a
plain Jane
pencil bag,
pencil
Pencil bag.
But here's the thing: they made. These are kids who might not have ever had anything to put a pencil in. They might not have had crayons.
Exactly.
I mean, we've really got to think of those in need. Those are kids who are in need.
Oh, absolutely.
And then look what
Dun,
else
dun,
I
dun,
got
dun,
in
dun,
here.
dun.
We like to put hygiene items in, so we
Yes.
have deodorant.
Deodorant.
Love it.
Look at that.
Love it, love it, love it.
And
We
it's speed
have-
stick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. So
Name
they're
brand.
not a sponsor, but they can be.
Right.
Well,
Speed
in
stick,
Speed
if you're
Stick by
listening,
Minute or something
right,
like that.
If
There
you're
you go.
listening, you could be a sponsor of JP.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Faye's
Okay.
been on the show
Go ahead.
before.
We have a washcloth.
Oh, I love it.
I thought I put a bar of soap in here.
Okay, it's okay.
It's a
Washcloth.
Washcloth.
Now, how you just gonna bypass the backpack?
The backpack. Listen, a backpack. You know,
Look at that.
something that they
Isn't
can
that
put their
cute?
items in.
Perfect.
So we have the backpack. We have
That's
salt.
great. See, and again, these are
Socks.
things that,
We take for granted.
We have a little water bottle.
oh, I love it. I love it.
Something that I think is very important is a flashlight.
And again,
and batteries.
we've got any of us on any given junk drawer, and if you're from the South, everybody's got a junk drawer. We've got 10 flashlights. Think about it. This kid may have never seen a flashlight.
Never.
Not only is that something that's necessary and good, especially if they don't have electricity or whatever the case may be,
Exactly.
but also that's back in the day when I was a kid. You know, my brother and I used to do puppet shows on the wall.
Yes,
with
with the
flashlights.
flashlight, yeah.
Remember, we used to. Now we'd chase each other around, try to shine it in each other's eyes.
Right,
Okay, I
right.
don't recommend that at home, kids. But that's one of those things that, again, it's a useful tool, but then it's also something that if a kid, these are kids who aren't going to have their own iPhone
Right.
by the age of 5.
And not only that, they don't have street lights. So imagine if they're out at night, you have some kind of light. They have a flashlight that they can use. We also have the toothbrush.
Love it.
I did bring the soap.
Oh, there's a soap. We knew
This
there was
is
soap in
soap.
there.
And a T-shirt. I always suggest to put a wow item. It could be an article of clothing. It could be
Okay.
a teddy bear. It could be a soccer ball. We have a glue stick.
You said a wow item.
Why,
A
so-
wow.
oh,
a wow
oh,
item.
A wow item. A wow
so
item.
something
Okay.
to wow them with,
Oh.
Yeah.
something that you would not ordinarily put in there.
Okay.
Kind of surprise them with,
Kind of a fun, like,
yeah.
oh my goodness,
like
look
a
at this.
ball.
Teddy bear, yeah.
Gotcha.
teddy
Okay.
bear,
Yeah, so you could do
or-
like a tennis ball or baseball or something like
We
that.
do like soccer balls,
Soccer-
right,
footballs,
there you go.
Right,
a
football,
bouncy
yeah.
ball, something like that.
that's
Yes,
awesome.
ma'am.
Ball and jack.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, again.
Wow. There are wow,
Wow.
items.
And something that, and so I think it's one of those things you can go. I mean, heck, as for those of us who are on, and I may be getting a little bit ahead of our interview here, but think about it. Okay, so maybe I'm on a tight budget for Christmas this year. I've got kids or grandkids or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I don't know that. Some of these items you can go to the Dollar Tree
Exactly.
and load up.
And we're going to plug Kroger in, and they can be a
Exactly.
sponsor too.
Okay.
But Kroger has 10 for 10, the little Matchbox cars. They're 10, 10 for 10. They're $1.
So you could do 10 of those, and that's your wow item for each box.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So again,
Yes.
the boxes are very
else you got in
budget friendly. Oh.
She wasn't
and
done.
Oh, we
have-
still,
and
and
we
that's
have
what's
a
so great. It
notebook.
keeps on going.
It's the box that never ends.
Right. And we have a notebook.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And we also like to put like letters in.
Letters.
Letters. We personally write out a letter.
Okay, so and tell me about this. So does the church give? Okay, let's say I want, and I do want to do some of these boxes. I'm going to have my kids help
Great.
me do a couple of these boxes this year. So sign me up. If the crew wants to do that, we're going to tell you how you can do that this year as well. But do I have like a template? Let's say
So-
that I'm like, I don't know what to write. Do y'all have examples, templates on what somebody can write, or is it just Jesus loves you?
Let me.
Go ahead,
You-
sister.
you-
No, go ahead.
So it comes from the heart.
Okay.
Is what I want to say.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so, crew, if you're listening, you can write whatever's in your heart that you want to bless a child with. It could be hi, I love you, or it could be one sentence. It could be a drawing. So we challenge people, and we get the youth. So we got the youth at church
Yes.
that write letters to the kids, and they put them in the box. So if you're on the crew, you want to write some letters, send them in to Kathy, email them.
Love it.
And we'll
we can print them all. I can send them
we
to you guys.
can-
Y'all can print them off at the church.
Right. And so what
Absolutely.
we could also do is this year we're doing, I'm probably getting ahead of Stacy's interview, but 200 we're committed to 250 boxes this year.
Oh, I
Yes.
love it.
So if
I
you
love
write
it. Good for y'all.
if you write one letter, we
Okay.
can photocopy it
Yes.
and put it in every box.
Oh,
and
so they're gonna have multiple
yes.
letters.
And
Oh,
if
yeah.
you follow your box, which Stacy's going to talk about, you
Love
can get a
this.
response from one of those children. They will write you back.
Oh, this
And
is
that
so
is
great, y'all.
such a blessing to see. And they'll tell you thank you, and you just you'll open it and want to cry. So,
I mean, it's choking me up right now. Just thinking about it. Thinking about it. So it's just that easy. You're like, oh, I don't have a printer at home, or I don't this, or I don't that.
Don't worry about it. Email
You know
it to
what?
me.
Email it to the
I'll
church.
print it out,
Yeah.
and we'll take
make
care
sure
of
that
it.
they get it
And
put in the box.
we have a packing party, so if you want to come be a part of the
How
packing
fun
party,
is that?
hey, maybe we can get the crew to come
I was
out
going to
and
say,
do-
well, let us know when that packing
Yes,
party
that
is going to
sounds
be,
good.
and
That
we
sounds
can
good.
we can go out because because obviously you want these to arrive before Christmas.
They will.
So how does
We're gonna
how
talk
does
about that.
Okay, we're going to talk about
Yeah.
that. Okay, but so going back, okay, so if you don't have the finances or you don't have a chance to go out and buy some items, it sounds like I can go out. I can say, okay, you know what? I'm going to buy 10 pairs of girl socks and 10 pair of boy socks, and I
just
give those
drop
to
them
y'all.
off.
Y'all
Yes.
take care of the
and
packing.
we'll put them in the boxes.
Okay, so I
Exactly.
don't have to have the
You
box
don't
and get
have
it
to
on.
have
have
the
to.
box.
And if I just want to write a letter that says, "Hey, Jesus loves you. You are amazing.
Yeah.
God
Yes.
has incredible plans for you," they can email it to us here at JP Kathy and the
Yes,
crew. I
they
forward
can.
it over to you, Faye.
They
You
can.
get it to the church, and
And
that's
the good
it's
thing,
as simple as
the
that.
good thing,
It is.
Kathy,
It really is.
I know everybody buys shoes.
Yes.
You can use your own shoebox.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Fill it up,
Yes.
give it to us, and we'll send
And
it.
it's
It does
done.
not have to be this box.
But that's
Right.
but I like
a
the
fancy
fancy
box.
box.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a chance, I know you got a shoebox laying around at
Oh,
home.
exactly.
So
We all do,
Prepare
yeah.
yourself, and it has to fit in the shoebox.
Whatever
That's the thing.
items that you
Whatever
purchase.
items you get.
Okay.
So if you have an empty shoebox at home, throw something in there, put it in there, see if
Bring
it
it
fits,
on to the church.
and then
Bring
it
just
to the
call
church.
us.
I love
Absolutely.
it. I
Yeah.
love it. Well, so go ahead and tell us the how and all that good stuff.
Well, we actually, she's going to talk about the.
Well, we're gonna again. You know that you can use any shoebox.
Perfect.
So National Collection Week is always the third week of November. So this year it is November the 15th
Oh, I'm putting that on my calendar. So
Okay.
I got this ahead of time. Okay.
through the 22nd. So National Collection Week is November 15th through the 22nd.
Okay, so that's a Monday through a Monday.
Yes.
And I'm going to let the crew know if you guys can't get it to the church, get it to JP and I that week, and we'll get it over to you because we can always
or
coordinate.
you can do it
and give
before
you.
then.
Oh, okay.
yeah, you can do it
perfect.
before if you,
You
want to do it before then. It's just Collection Week is when all the other churches and communities bring
Perfect.
it to
It's a
the
community
drop-off.
thing.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
Right.
Okay. And we didn't. Have we even mentioned the church that y'all are
we
with
haven't.
yet?
We,
Well,
we just been spinning around,
Well,
spinning
so-
around. We just
Okay,
having
so
so much fun.
many of you may wonder. Oh, and some of the crew has been talking about. Okay, wait. Did somebody say a whiskey pack? Okay, no, I'm not talking about
No.
adult gifts. I think that's
No.
probably Fred. Gail said roller skates. For a Christmas gift. Well, not for the shoebox, but that's one of the things she remembers getting as a kid. That was a big deal.
Dad.
You posed a question to the crew, Faye.
Yeah, roller skates is good.
Yeah, roller skates is an awesome one. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's so
Yes.
great.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then Michelle, of course, she says a working plastic model V8 engine. Of course. Oh, Michelle can take a car apart and put it back together. This girl's
Really?
amazing.
Wow,
Yeah,
Michelle,
so-
we gotta talk, girl.
I know. I'm very impressive. So there you go. Yeah, But okay, so let's get back to what church are y'all with, and how did this kind of come to fruition with y'all's church?
Okay. Well, the name of our church is Disciples of Christ Bible
Okay.
Fellowship. It is at 800 East El Dorado Parkway.
And we'll drop this after the show. If y'all will drop this information into one of our social
Okay.
media feeds.
Okay.
Thank you.
And that's in Little Am, Texas.
Okay.
So how we came to do this is I was challenged by our First Lady, Laquita.
Love
and,
it.
I would see these boxes and I'm like, okay, so what's that? Oh, those are Christmas shoe boxes. So she explained it to me, and so she was like, I want you to start being the leader over it. And I was like, I can't do that.
Like,
And
what?
she said, oh yeah, you can do it. So for the past 4 years, collectively as a church, we have collected items, purchased items. We have packing parties, like at the end of October, the beginning of November. And so when you drop these boxes off at the designated churches, there's paperwork that you have to fill out.
Okay.
And so I filled out the paperwork, and the area coordinator,
coordinator, yeah.
she noticed that each year our amount increased.
From y'all's particular church.
Yes, from our church.
Love it.
So she This past year, I got the opportunity to legally be called a project leader. And
Congratulations.
She's downplaying it a little bit.
Yeah, Faye, tell us what's really up with that.
Leader
That's
is
a big
not
deal.
The right word. It's ambassador over the Operation Shoebox. She downplayed it.
You know what? It's spoken like a humble lady that she is.
Let me tell you what that means to everybody. Y'all know me out there. So that means that this year we get to all the other communities, not just Frisco, not just Little Elm, all the other communities are coming to our church to drop off their boxes.
That's awesome. That's a big deal.
Not only do you drop off your boxes, we pray over these boxes.
Yes.
Every one of these boxes will be prayed for, and it'll be a blessing to everybody.
When we do the packing party, is that part of praying over the boxes
Yes.
part of
Yes,
that?
yes, we pray.
Okay,
over
when
that.
is
We
the
have
packing
pizza,
party?
We have fun.
When do y'all have that date yet? Because I'm if I can make it, I want to make it.
We'll have to get back.
We'll have to
with
get
you
back
on
to
that.
Yeah,
because
please. A good
Yeah.
reason one of y'all hop on the show like next week or week after and let us know when that packing party is.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds
Because
good.
that's and again, okay, if you come to the packing party, enjoy some fellowship, enjoy some
Yes.
pizza. Even if you're not able to physically pack the boxes or whatever, or you're nervous about COVID or whatever, hey, come
Well,
in, socially distance,
So
and pray.
Let me tell you about the packing party. So yes, and I'm glad you mentioned that. And I'm in HR, so I'm gonna just go ahead and lay it out there, throw it out there for y'all. So
Come on.
COVID friendly. So at our church, we do have temperature checks. We do have the air purifiers. We do have, you are mandated to wear your mask in our church.
Okay.
So we are COVID friendly. We do have hand sanitizers. We have all that. So with it being a packing party, you will still have to wear your mask because we want everybody safety first.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well,
Safety
and
first.
and if you've got some older members of the church and everything who maybe have some health issues, better safe than sorry kind of a
Absolutely.
thing.
So
Absolutely.
the packing party, we're still gonna have fun.
Yeah.
But you still have to wear your mask, and we still have to be conscious. But a packing party, if you've never been to one, it's very refreshing because you have to build the box.
Yes.
They don't come already built. So we have to
okay.
build 250 boxes.
Love
Then
it.
we have to sort all of the items that were purchased.
Yep.
And the great thing about what Stacy has done, again, she's not gonna dote on herself,
But we will dote on her.
Right. So let me tell you, the unique thing that we do at Disciples of Christ Bible Fellowship is we do it every month. So when we do our church announcements, every month we let the congregation know what the item is that you can do for the box. So at the end of the year, you're not scrambling trying to go and get all
this
these
is
items.
ongoing
Year-round.
all
It's
year.
year-round. So every
I love
month,
it. Okay.
we do an item that you can go purchase for the shoebox.
So then
Which-
and again, and we were talking about you don't want to break the budget, so you can hit
don't
the
break the
dollar
budget.
store
Exactly.
and spend
Right.
maybe five,
Right.
$2, $5, $10
Right.
a month.
Exactly.
I'll give you an
Yeah.
example. Like this month, the item to go in the shoebox is letters and photos.
Okay.
Last month, it was toys. The month before that, it was games. The month before that, it was school supplies. The month before that. So
Okay.
every month,
That makes sense.
we
Something
organize
different.
it to make sure we're budget friendly.
Yes.
So no one has an excuse.
I love it.
To
Yeah,
not be
no
able to
excuses on
participate.
this.
Exactly.
Well, and you said photos. Okay, so I understand the letters. Obviously, you're going to be, talking to these kids, encouraging them, talking about Christ. Pictures. Is it a selfie of yourself? I don't think so.
Well,
it could
the
be.
good thing is they've never seen different pictures. So for myself, I'm challenging myself this year. I'm going to do pictures of cats, pictures of dogs, pictures of different animals.
different things.
Well.
Different.
Okay, do you need 500 pictures of Kira, my Shiba Inu?
Yes, we do.
I've got them. And you know what? I am going to print out. She had a Mrs. Claus little Santa dress on last year that was so
would
cute.
love that.
wow.
They would love that.
Oh, yes.
And I don't know if
Photos.
you've seen. I wish we could have pulled it up. I'm going to show you this.
Is it on the website or?
Yes, it actually is.
Do you want to, Brett, can you go to the website too? Oh, will you send
yes.
that to me, and I'm going to send it to Brett. I'll send that to Brett, and he can get it up there.
They love, you got to show this so the crew can see it. They love different
Love
photos.
it.
Yes.
Love it.
So this is actually someone that
Brett, I'm sending this over because we're going to end with this image.
I love it. I love that
This is just
picture.
so great. This is so great. Okay, so oh my gosh, that is so cute. Well, it sounds like there's a way for anybody and everybody to get involved. Okay, let me ask this.
How do you get
last
involved?
question to ask. Well,
How do you
get
get
involved?
involved?
How do you
Stacy,
reach out?
how do you
But
get
also, if I have $10, I can donate. I don't have the time to go get items, and I'm just like, can they give you a $10 bill so the church can do with it what they want?
So
You can answer.
you want me to answer?
Yeah, you can answer.
So the slide that he put up,
Yes.
You can go to SamaritansPurse.org. It was on the slide.
Yes,
that
that
we
one we
had
had earlier.
donate
Okay.
to them
Okay.
directly. But you can come to the church and help us out and collect.
So even if you don't have the money yourself and you want to help somebody else, which I think that's so important. I think that even if we're struggling ourselves, I think that's so important. Look at this dog with the boxes. Oh, please, somebody help me. That is so cute.
JP, I need for you to dress
A horse up like that.
Yes.
Oh, that would be so cute.
Or Carter.
Yeah. JP, I need this. I need one of your animals to be.
Oh,
With the shirt on.
the
So
baby
cute.
goat.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so no
That's
pressure,
cute.
JP. But we've just roped you into dressing your little baby goat up like this.
And make sure you take a picture.
And then, yes. Oh, yes.
So we can put it in every
Yeah.
250
Okay,
shoeboxes.
we can do that. Okay, so then let me ask you, how do people get in touch with you? How do they follow you? If somebody's like, this is cool, and they want to be part of it, where do they go?
Well, we're gonna let Ambassador Stacy.
Oh yes, because she does have a title. We should have put Ambassador Stacy Scott up there.
You know what, y'all so funny. I love
Stacy's
it.
like, oh, Faye, I'm never coming back to this
I'm never
show.
coming on the radio
I
show.
never-
What
ever
did you
again.
rope
I'm
me
having it,
into?
I love it. So let me tell you guys how you can get involved with this project. Kids, families, schools, churches, community groups participate by filling the shoe boxes with school supplies, the toys, necessity items, letters of encouragement, step-by-step packing instructions are available at SamaritansPurse.org/OCC. We work year round to do
Love
this.
it.
You know, it's not just a one-time thing. From January to October to actually collection week, we are packing these boxes. We are collecting these items. So you can visit, SamaritansPurse.org/OCC and become a volunteer.
How do they get a hold of you? They like to come to the church. Can you tell them again your number and?
So we're going to need help at the church. So
Obviously, yeah.
we're going to need all the help that
And
we
we're
can
going to,
get.
like I said, one of y'all come on and pop on next week and let us know when that packing party is so we can get some members of the crew up there.
Okay, so come on out to the church, Disciples of Christ Bible Fellowship at 800 East El Dorado Parkway in Little Elm, Texas. And I promise you, it's some work for you to do out there.
Love it.
Or you can send a note or to my personal email. It is Stacy, my name, STACEY .Scott, SCOTT 1965 at iCloud.com, and I will be more than happy to put you guys
Love
to work.
it.
Stacy, can you say it again? 'Cause I don't think
email?
everybody out there in
Yeah,
radio land. I don't think they heard
Say
you.
it again.
Say it again.
So
Your email address?
My email address is Stacy, STACEY .Scott, SCOTT 1965 at iCloud.com. So again, just send me
Love
a little
it.
note if you want to come out and help. I can let you know what time to come, and I will be there, and we will get these boxes packed and get ready for them to be shipped.
Well,
and our
thank
church
y'all.
address is 800 East El Dorado, Little Elm, Texas.
So it's
zip
just
code,
right down the street from here.
75068.
Love it.
Yes.
And
so,
we'll give us this information. We'll put this out on Facebook and all of our
Okay.
other social media pages and everything. And I definitely want to have y'all come back and just one of y'all, both of y'all, and pop on and tell us when the packing party is.
Okay.
any
this
questions
is-
from the crew?
Yeah, I don't
don't
think
have
so.
mine
Right.
up.
that we've had some fun comments. So, anyways,
She said fun comments.
yeah,
Uh-oh.
you know. Okay,
Uh-oh.
so just
Y'all
we'll
showing
just
out
go
out
with
there?
that. No alcohol, Fred. No whiskey. These are this is kid friendly. I just love this because it is a simple way, and there's so many ways to help. And you're spreading that message of Christ, and you're spreading it to somebody. This might be the only connection they have to Christianity. And especially when you're young, I think that's so important. I know a lot of people come to know Christ when they're older, but sometimes they've had a seed planted when they were very young.
Oh, that was good.
And
that's good.
that's hashtag that. You can use it. There you
Hashtag
go.
that, yeah,
but it's one of those
hashtag,
things that you've
Hashtag
planted that.
be a seed.
Yes, be that seed.
Hashtag
Yeah,
be a
there you-
seed.
And that's so again. When these kids are older, they're going to realize this didn't magically happen. People at a church in Little Elm, Texas, that didn't even know them,
Right.
thought about them.
Little
And
Elm,
from a whole
Texas.
nother country as well, you know, a whole nother country.
Well, this is just so great, ladies. Thank y'all so much. Faye, I know you're going to be talking about breast cancer another time on the show, but you do have a beautiful brooch, a pin that you're wearing. Can you just mention the lady's name who this is in honor of?
Oh, I am this year walking for Michelle Berterm Buck. She was a 10-year breast cancer survivor, and she's no longer with us. So I promised her that I would walk San Diego, which is in November. I'll be back on the show later on to tell you about walking in November. Actually, Stacy is joining me next year to do Dallas because she's doing Shoeboxes this year. So I'm going to be doing dual duty. I'm going to do the packing party, and I challenge myself. I am going to do 50 boxes myself, by myself.
Yay! Where's the applause?
So,
button?
yeah.
Woo!
Where's the applause?
Producer, there
So,
you go.
you know, I'm going to say this to everybody that's listening. It's not a matter of money because we all have been through a pandemic, but it's what you do to help others that keep you going.
Amen.
We've all been through something, but you can take, $5 and buy 5 pairs of socks.
I mean, again, the dollar
and
store is your friend.
Right, and bless a child
Absolutely.
and be a blessing. As far as the cancer walk, there are a lot of people right now that are probably in the crew listening that I will be walking for you. So if you want to drop that information when I come back to the show, I am going to wear a brooch with people's names on it that I'm walking for.
I love it.
So
yeah, we have a member of the crew who just finished a breast cancer
so-
treatment.
Oh, wow.
Thankfully, caught it early. So
Very
yeah.
good.
So
Very good.
the crew is real good about plugging things and doing.
Yeah,
I've
get
been a
out,
part of-
share this out to your
Yeah.
networks. Well, God
Yeah.
bless you, ladies. Thank y'all so much.
Thank
and we're
you.
getting ready to bring Bunni Pounds on from Christians Engaged.
Oh, okay.
Y'all, I need to get you her information, your
Yeah.
information
Okay.
because y'all are both y'all are sisters in Christ. Y'all are all sisters in Christ as well. So God bless y'all. Thank y'all, and I can't wait to help out and let me know when the packing party is.
Yes, we
Thank
will. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, ladies.
having
Great
me.
job, and so nice to know you,
Nice
Stacy.
to meet you as well.
Oh, Miss Ambassador. Sorry.
Oh, yes.
Let's be
Yes, Miss
fancy.
Ambassador.
Well, we're getting ready to have Bunni Pounds come on the show. I do want to give a shout out, Miss Texas, who was just on our show, and then if you, huh? I know. Well, she's in Austin today. So anyway, so we're going to have Bunni come sit over here. And then thank you so much, ladies. We have Miss Texas, who is in Austin today. She'll be getting recognized on the floor of the State House of Representatives. So I know Susan was on the feed earlier. So to Mallory Fuller, who is our 2021 Miss Texas, who we just love dearly, who was just in the studio last week. Hello to you. Hope you guys have fun in Austin. I wish I was with y'all. I'll be driving near Austin tomorrow when I'm at the TFRW convention. So anyways, thank you, ladies. And thank y'all so much. Great job. And yeah, we want to help. So thank you. And now we have somebody else who everybody knows very well, who's a member of the crew. And if you've ever tuned into the show, Bunni Pounds, who's a dear friend of ours, is back on with Christians Engaged. And you might remember that she had talked about a first annual event they were getting ready to do November 5th and 6th, correct? Oh, your hair looks great. Yes. By the way, her hair looks it's very on point. Is that still a thing? I don't know. My kids are like, oh, Mom, stop talking. Please stop talking. Or, of course, actually, they're not listening. So there you go. But your hair looks great. But it's November 5th and 6th. And this is the first that we've got of this type of event, and hopefully this is going to be an annual event. So if you will please welcome Bunni Pounds to the show. Christians Engaged, founder, CEO, president,
All the above.
chief bottle washer. She fills in and does whatever she needs to. And I love your T-shirt. I need to get one of those. Can I get one of those at
Yes,
the
at the
event?
conference. We're going to have blue, red, and
Love it.
gray.
I
So-
love it. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Christians Engaged if somebody doesn't know about the organization. And then, and in the meantime, Brett, if you get a chance to pull up the Christians Engaged website, we can show how easy it is to navigate everything and then talk about how easy it is to follow you and all that kind of good stuff.
Well, I mean, we're a parachurch ministry, kind of helping pastors and churches navigate civic duties as it relates to being believers in Jesus. So we have been in, I think, 53 churches so far since we launched. Mostly Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. Yeah, it's been great.
That's huge.
All over Texas. And we have, by the end of the year, it'll be about 65. We're also doing an on-ramp to civic engagement seminars. We've taken that to 4 cities. We've got 2 more cities. This year we'll be in Denton County in November and Fort Worth. Then we just booked Rowlett and Dallas and Houston for 2022. So we're continuing to build that out.
So let me ask this.
Yeah.
So if somebody's like, oh, I want Bunny and Christians Engaged to come to our church and talk about this.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. This is nonpartisan.
Yes.
If you remember, we had we talked with Lathan Watts about this. We talked with you about this. This is about Christians who should be voting if they're not. And if you're voting and you want to get educated as far as I try to live my life, following Christ. How do I choose the right person? Or, for example, we've got the constitutional amendment here in the state of Texas coming up in the beginning of November. So you guys give information, nonpartisan, on, hey, these are the people that believe in this, this, and this, and that's in keeping with the Bible.
Well, we pretty much give everybody a toolkit.
Okay.
Print off your ballot, how to research it, how to think through the issues, how to have discernment. So on our website, there's a link that says "Take the Pledge." You can take the pledge. You can you'll get prayer texts every Monday at 5:55 with a scripture and a prayer focus, which we believe in the power of prayer.
Love it.
We will remind you, we'll start hitting you with text. Hey, early voting starts for the constitutional amendment election. Here's your guide to help you navigate that. Hey, early voting's stopping. Hey, it's election day.
Right.
So we don't want you to forget to vote in every election. As we know, people that are 70 plus are the ones voting in every election.
Right.
And we have to get our younger generation tied in that the republic is worth saving.
We really have to. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because we are, Bunny, and this is one of the things. There's a million things I love about your organization, but one of the things I love is it's everything's so positive. If you're able to, and Bunny will tell you if you're not already following her and Christians Engaged, how to do so. I can pop on to 2 or 3 minutes of a live podcast that you're doing, and I'm like, yeah, and it's kind of that infusion of Jesus, but it's all so positive and so upbeat and so inspiring, because unfortunately, and you know this, you've been in politics a long, long time like me, sister, and you know,
it's a beat down.
It's ugly.
It's a beat down
It's a
sometimes.
beat down. It's ugly. And you've even got. I'll look on somebody's social media feed, and I see Christians arguing with Christians about something, and I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. Let's come together. If you've got something that you differ on, okay, don't put that out. Let's keep the positive things out there. So I think that your organization is such a refreshing change from politics as usual that unfortunately is following people in this country
part of
right
our
now.
call, Kathy, as you know, we have a Bible study. You hop on every Monday at 8:30, and we're going through the Book of Psalms, and I have a special guest on every week with me. But we're really trying to help people, navigate that world as believers. You can have integrity and character, and people can know you're a Christ follower first before they know you're a partisan.
Yes.
And so how do we keep that balance? How do we keep our heart right before the Lord as
I
we
love
engage in that? So
I love that, because you're so many times people are like, oh, so-and-so's, and they, whatever party you are, and then they kind of dismiss you, and it's interesting. And I know you had to have had this happen to you. I've had people go, oh, since you're, and people, I've said it on the show, I identify as a Republican.
Yes.
Let's just say it that way. And so I vote, for conservative candidates. And there will be people who, when I talk about Jesus or they're like, well, I didn't know you were nice. And I'm like, what, I'm kind of taken aback, and I'm like, they're like, well, because I see that you always post stuff about doing Republican stuff, and I'm like, Jesus is first.
Yeah.
Period. End of sentence. Jesus comes first. Am I a
Yes.
sinner? Am I perfect? Oh, goodness gracious, no. Am I a sinner? Yes. But the great thing is Christ forgives me. He already forgave me, forgives me all the time. I don't have to be perfect. And so I think it's in politics, if more people identified with their Christianity first and let that lead them,
Yeah.
their message with whatever party or whatever candidate or whatever platform they're standing for might be a little better received, maybe.
Well, and that's our case is we're going to be picking between imperfect candidates, imperfect
Yes,
people.
yes.
So you need to know what their values are and how it aligns with the Bible and make those decisions accordingly. Now, we came here to talk about our Wake Up Conference.
Yes, which I'm so sorry. I could have Bunny on for 5 hours today.
We
Everybody's
could.
like, okay, but let's talk about this exciting first ever conference.
And those of y'all here in DFW, guys, we are here in DFW. It's not going to always stay in DFW because we're a statewide organization. We actually have a team coming from Pennsylvania and Florida that found out about us through our little IRS case. And
yes, a little case with the IRS.
yeah, you can check that out on our website. But we've got, this conference is like anything I've ever seen. We've got political leaders and ministry leaders across denominational lines that all believe that Jesus is the answer to our nation. And so there's two groups of people that are attracted to this conference. Number one is the awakening church. You might be out there right now and you're like, I'm really concerned about what's happening in America. I'm really concerned, and you're a believer in Jesus. You love God. You know that the fabric of our nation is kind of being dissolved in a lot of ways, right?
Unfortunately, that's a very eloquent way you have put what's going on.
And you're like, I need to do something, but I don't know what to do. This is for you. Yep. So we have James Robison, who's the founder of The Stream, host of Life Today. We have Allie Beth Stuckey, a really young, amazing 30-year-old podcaster that can articulate politics and religion better than anybody else I've ever heard. We've got Governor Rick Perry, our former governor, former Secretary of Energy. And Governor Perry's not going to be here talking about, his great record for Texas or, he's going to be talking about taking letters into the Oval Office every time he went to see President Trump about how he was like David and how he spent time in the Word in that season in Washington and encouraged people that the Word was really the answer.
See, I didn't even know that he did that.
Yeah,
it's
going to be an amazing story. We've got June Hunt. Those of you guys in Collin County, June Hunt.
Love her.
Yeah, she's in her 80s, as you know, and I'm going to sit on the stage on Saturday afternoon and interview her about the power of the Bible. The importance of the Bible for our culture, the healing. She teaches people how to go to the Bible for anxiety, depression, addictions, all of that, and how that should be our foundation of how we find truth. We've got State Representative Matt Schaefer coming over from Tyler. He's our pro-life hero in the Texas House. Congressman Michael Cloud coming up from Victoria, strong spirit-filled believer. So we've got and I'm going to be preaching. It's going to be awesome. But what we're doing here with this conference is mixing prayer.
Yes.
We're going to have concentrated times of prayer. Worship. My friend Clayton Brooks from the Oaks Church is going to be leading worship for us. So the Awakening Church, those of you who are like, I need marching orders, you absolutely need to come to this.
Yes.
It's only $55 for the whole weekend.
Which is unheard of for the quality of speakers you're going to get. And again, you will walk away with action items that are doable, that are things you can bring into your everyday life, things you can put into social media, so it really can help spread the word. I mean, $55, you can't beat that with a stick.
No, and that's 4 services, Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and Saturday evening. We've also got Kyle Martin here from Time to Revive. If you know Kyle, we had a big Revive Texas movement a few years back. Kyle's going to be preaching on the power of the gospel. And then Corey Russell is with us from the Upper Room, because the Upper Room is kind of known in Dallas as the prayer place. Corey's going to be teaching us about prayer and intercession. So again, experts in their field as it relates to prayer, voting, and engagement across denominational lines. But it is really important that the church come together in this moment, that, there are definitely differences in the way we see things. We might not all worship the same. We might not all pray the same.
And that's okay. I've heard you talk about this before. And I recently was at a church service where the pastor was talking about kind of don't be one of those Christians that says, oh, well, I'm more Christian because I worship this way. Or, I don't wear jeans to church, I wear a tie, so I'm a better Christian. No, we're all Christians, and we're here however you feel comfortable worshiping, whatever church you worship in. If you're somebody who you do your own self-led Bible study, or you do your Bible study online, we're all part of that same Christian family. So let's love and support each other and build each other up and find ways to reach more people.
And our heart is, you might be exposed to something at the Wake Up Conference that you might not ever been exposed to before.
Good point. That's a
good
point.
That can open your eyes to a whole nother level of who God is and your relationship with our nation, right?
Yeah.
Because we believe we were born in this geography, we're in this season, in this generation for a purpose.
Yes.
I don't know how many of your listeners, watch The Chosen. But, those of y'all that are binge watching Jesus out there,
we've got a number of them.
Yeah. We analyze that and we go, oh man, I wish I walked with Jesus in the first century. I wish I was a disciple. And we're like, we think about all these wonderful things. But let me just say, you were born in this generation in America for such a time as this. Yeah. And we can walk with Jesus as intimately as the disciples, even though he's not in flesh with us.
Right.
But he has a purpose for us to know him in this moment and to impact our culture.
True.
So, I like to say you don't have anything to give your nation if you don't walk with him.
Right.
But that's what the Wake Up Conference is. There's a whole bunch of political activists, you guys out there, that need to come to this to just get built up again and reminded about who you are. And then the Awakening Church is going to come alongside, and they're going to be built up and excited. And so this is just a beginning point for a lot of us, but we're believing that this is going to be an annual conference that is a gathering point for believers that are engaged in civic government.
And I think it's so important, not only do we have, we've got the constitutional election just right around, the constitutional amendment election right around the corner, but we're getting ready to go into all across the country, go into primary season. And just with the political temperature out there, there's potential for that to be ugly. So if you come to this Wake Up Conference, you're going to have all these arrows in your quiver that are weapons that you can use when you're out there on the campaign trail. And you know what? If people are out there being negative and angry, be the change agent. Be the person who's out there saying, you know what? Let's talk about why this is so great and how we can bring Christ into this. And and if you go to this conference, then you are going to be equipped with the talking points you need, maybe with a story. Maybe one of your speakers gives a story and you're like, I never thought about that. If I'm out knocking on doors or, talking to my neighbors, I'm going to use that story this political season. Yeah. And I feel like as Christians, we don't, and this is something I've really learned, as a believer the last year, and that is I haven't used my weapons. I haven't gone out and been dressed ready for that battle every day. And this is a place where you're going to find that information out.
And, again, we need to come together. I love Saturday night is going to be a special meeting because we've got Allie Beth Stuckey, who's 30 years old, a new mom. Here she's like a blown up on social media and a podcaster and just from the conservative side of the Christian church, right? Right. And then we have James Robinson, who's in his 70s, who's been like a patriarch, been a counselor to presidents, has a TV show, is just, on the more charismatic Pentecostal side, but yet has been that father of the faith for so many and launched the stream to talk to people across denominational lines about the importance of our government and civic engagement in our culture. So I just love the mix that we're going to be bringing to the table, that it doesn't matter if you're 30 or 70. Yeah. You have a part in what's happening right now. Yeah. And God is not done with us, Kathy. He's not done with us. And it breaks my heart when people just want to sit on their couch and lament that the world's going to hell. Yep. The country is falling apart.
You see people on social media and that's all they say. And they're like, what are you doing about it?
we have a part to play. And if
Yes.
Christians would stop complaining and the 50% that are not even voting in a presidential election
And let's talk about that.
would start voting.
So how do we get and again through your organization and Bunny in just a minute is going to be giving out her contact information, how to follow her. If it's not Bunny herself, she has somebody who can come out to your church and really speak to the people who just don't feel like it's their duty to vote, or I don't like anybody, or politics is corrupt, or this, that, or the other. Like you always said, and I've stolen this line from you, I do give you credit, we're choosing between two imperfect people in any given election.
I wish Jesus was on the ballot, but he's not.
He's not. I
wish.
I'm stealing that too.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we can't leave Jesus at the 100-foot marker and walk into the polling place. And, it's the same thing with, I don't know if your mom ever said, but, is Jesus sitting by you right now while you're watching that movie?
Yeah.
I grew up in a very, Christian home. My dad was a pastor. It's like, is Jesus with you right now? Well, is Jesus with you when you walk into the polling place? He should be. And our values and our biblical values specifically should go in with us, and we should pick candidates not on their perfection because they're not
none of
going to
them
be
are
perfect,
right,
but on what they believe, what their moral compass is, and how they're going to represent us in a republic of representative government. That's really, really important. So when people take our pledge, we actually help push them out to vote. We remind them to vote. We give them the information they need.
And they know where to vote, too. I mean, you guys give them, it's just one stop can educate you, because you'll see a lot of people saying, well, I don't know who to vote for. I'm so confused, and they sit home, or I didn't know where to go, or I forgot, I didn't realize it was early voting, and then I was out of town on election day.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about any of that anymore with
Right.
Christians Engaged.
Yeah.
You guys are making it a one-stop shop that is so easy to navigate.
Yeah. And we'll teach you how to find your, elections department website. I mean, it's not rocket science, guys.
Yeah.
But we have to make an effort, and we need to spend, 15, 20 minutes researching our ballot before we go to the polls. If we do that, guys, you're going to be the top 98% in the state. If we vote in every election in Texas, you're now in the top 2% of all Texans.
Well, are you kidding?
No, because the amount of people, only 1.7% of the population vote in this constitutional amendment election. Then you get into primaries, you've only got 6 to 10% voting. City elections, 2 to 6%.
Yeah, it's just kind of ironic, ironic. Usually the only time you have over like double digit, like 10% or more turnout in a city election is if alcohol's on the ballot. And I'm like, really, y'all? Come on. These are people who are literally deciding when your trash gets picked up and what kind of books your kids are going to read. So get out and vote.
Yeah.
It's so important. Well, how do people follow you? How do they find you?
Yeah.
How do they sign up for this conference?
Go to Christians Engaged,
and if we can
with
pull
a D,
that up.
christiansengaged.org. christiansengaged.org. The conference is on the homepage, so you can click over. We have a whole conference website, the s2e100.org. But yeah, look at all of that. If you're out of town and you're not in Dallas, Fort Worth, we've got a hotel block at the Hyatt Place in Garland. But really take a retreat and come spend time with us. We've got a few VIP tickets left if you want pictures with Governor Perry and Allie Beth. We've got just some sponsorships. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be great. We will be streaming the conference. We're still working out if that's going to be paid or free, but you need to just come live.
Well,
don't stream it.
And even if you can't, like I know it's my son's 18th birthday on Friday, so I'm not going to be able to make both days, but I'm going to try to at least come for part of the day on Saturday, because I feel like even if I'm there for 3 hours, that may be 3 hours. I may meet somebody who is a brother or sister in Christ who I connect with, who I can say, hey, let's talk about this together. Let's coordinate our efforts. Or you might get that talking point that makes all the difference in helping to get your fellow churchgoers out to vote.
I remember when I was young mom, I was homeschooling my kids. I felt the call to politics in some realm, and I didn't know what to do. And I went to a convention, and I'm sitting there behind this homeschooling family from Garland, Randy Dunning and Karen Dunning.
Yeah.
And there are 4 kids, and I was really fascinated by this guy's story because I'm like, okay, you serve in a party politics, you are on the city council in Garland, you homeschool your kids, you have a business. How do you do it all? And I just asked him that simple question, and his response was, how do I not do it? And that in that moment, that changed my life because it shot all of the excuses that I had in my own life as a 28-year-old mom with 2 little kids out the window. And then he turned around and thanked me for being there, for responding to that call, to filling in the troops in the trenches.
What a Christian thing to do. Yeah. Because all these years later, and we know you've got this amazing political story and are such an accomplished woman, and that starts with somebody treating you in a kind manner. What happens if he would have been like, oh, you know.
Yeah, we don't need you, young woman.
then we would be missing out on Christians Engaged right now.
Yeah. So that led to a 15-year political consulting career and me running for Congress and all that. But you never know what one word from someone that is walking in God is going to change your life. And we believe there's going to be a lot of divine encounters. You know, what God's doing right now is putting everybody in their lane.
Yes.
So we pray that at Christians Engaged Wake Up Conference, you catch something, you're like, that's what I'm supposed to be doing, because we all can't solve every problem, but we all need to be like Nehemiah on the wall, repairing the wall one shoulder to each other and making sure that we're all in the right place where we need to be. And that's all the Lord requires of us.
And Christians Engaged is the way to find out how that comes to fruition. How does that work? What does it look like for you? And again, I know there's so many things you can do. Everybody's busy and there's so much stuff going on. But if you have any time to go to this conference, I mean, I cannot encourage people enough, because this is a place to get the weapons that you need in this fight that we are in, and to get it in a positive, fun. And that's another thing. Everybody's like, wait, this is a church or this is a Christian political kind of thing. It's going to be a blast, y'all. Yeah. I mean, Bunny makes everything fun. Everything's a great time. I mean, what is it? The youth call it FOMA, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
You don't want this to be your FOMA moment. You do not want to miss out on this.
Exactly. We'll have all this amazing merch coming up.
So that's so great.
This is an old shirt, but we've got blue, red, pick your color.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Bunny. We really appreciate you coming on, and we may try to have you come on and just remind people, get one last push before the conference. Just again, please reach out. How do they find you? ChristiansEngaged.org. Take the pledge. That'll get you on our email system and get our prayer text and our voting reminders. And then check out the conference and just grab your ticket, because we will sell out. Thank you so much. Well, Bunni Pounds, we love you. We just are so fortunate to have you as a member of the crew. And to y'all, have a great rest of the week, and we will see you soon. I'm hoping to maybe go live from the TFRW convention a little bit sometime later this week. So watch for that disaster, because Brett's like, really? You're going to do something technology-wise without me? That's why I said maybe. And hopefully, All right, thanks again, Bunny. Bunni Pounds with Christians Engaged. Love y'all. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you soon.